Hi, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 2023 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out more than you guys will ever know. It's getting me seen by the YouTube algorithm, so thank you so very much. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what Spirit wants us to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Excuse me. So we have here rebirth. And there's a sense, Aquarius, that we need to be mindful that there's a lot of change that's going on right now and a lot of change that we're going to be experiencing. And yet there's a resistance to it. There's a sense of feeling stuck. There's a sense of feeling overwhelmed. There's a sense of feeling rather, it can even be like fatalistic, over the top, like, oh, it doesn't matter, what does life mean anyway, type of thing. And that could be really weighing us down because there's just a sense of like I'm caught in a loop and it's not stopping. So just be aware of that. That there's a sense of feeling trapped, but it's right before we are reborn. So we're heading in the right direction, most definitely. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Here we have relax. Take a nice deep breath in, let it out, and relax. We're holding a lot of tension in our shoulders. We're holding a lot of tension in our jaws. And there's just a sense of, we can even feel like our hands have a lot of tension in them because we're holding on just too tightly to things. So there's going to be a need here to relax and to center ourselves because we're going to feel it physically in aches and pains. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Ooh, these are a lot, so give me a minute. Okay. So Aquarius, a lot came out here, which is actually more than any other reading has. So there's a lot to really talk about. We have here the Page of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords. We're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. And so that aspect of ourselves is really coming forward during this time, the sense of cutting through nonsense, embracing knowledge, looking at what we desire. We are ruled by Uranus. And what's very interesting about this time is that Uranus is conjunct Mercury. And this brings a sudden and surprising change, news, bright ideas, new ideas coming forward. So be aware of this. Uranus is also the piercing sword of truth. Truth is very important to you. Now, Sagittarius, this full moon is in Sagittarius. We're at 13 degrees, 18 minutes of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius searches for truth, honor, integrity, and is very linked with the law, not in the way that Libra is. Libra is very much by the books type of thing. This is the law based on truth. So, with Uranus being the piercing sword of truth, that truth is echoing through this whole entire moon for us and beyond to the new moon. Really, we're going to see that truth is really important. For some of us, it'll last longer. Now, Uranus is the higher mind. It's a higher aspect of Mercury. Mercury is talking, it's communicating, it's our day to day. Uranus is the higher mind. And we're going to see that the planet is moving in new degrees during this time that's bringing us to an awakening that we haven't seen in 84 years. And so if you are an Aquarius, which is why you're here, or you know somebody who is, and you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling like things aren't quite fitting, it's because we're moving into and we're embracing an awakening. And we're having an energy shift that we haven't felt in 84 years. So being aware of that is going to be very important. Now, Neptune, which is unconditional love and oneness, is squared the Celtic center. Not the Celtic center, the galactic center. These are Celtic cards. So there we go. The galactic center. And this increases our psychic development and our intuitive, insightful dreams. So be aware of that. Now, the South Lunar Node is in Scorpio. This is the collective past. It brings forward big secrets, toxicity, a lot of negative things surface. So being aware of that is going to be important. We have Pisces here. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So that seer of the unseen worlds comes forward quite powerfully for us. Our psychic abilities, our intuition, our empathy, our instincts, that's going to lead us in a direction of healing. So being aware of that is important. Now, the Page of Swords, this is us during this time. We're students. We are fantastic at learning. White animals, red ears, doesn't necessarily have to have red ears, but in Welsh mythology and Celtic mythology, white animals are linked to the spirit world. So here we have a message from the horse. We have a message in his hands. There's a sense that you're going to be getting a lot of messages from spirits, from your angels, from your spirit guides, from your ancestors during this time. You're going to be able to utilize this to move you forward. With the moon, there's a lot of changes coming in. This is also strong Pisces energy, but we're going to see a lot of changes. This is the full moon in it. And so that beacon, the fact that this full moon is shining a light and letting us see, capital SEE, is moving us closer to what we truly desire and what we truly want. There's a really big aspect during this moon of healing. And as we're embracing healing, we're embracing a coming together. There was something that has been fractured or has been overwhelmed. And now we're going to see a healing. This is especially around relationships and around the 6, because the angel number 66 is about healing within the home and within ourselves. So I just see that linked to you guys right now. And that's really cool. You're going to see something taking bloom. You're going to see something in your life taking bloom in a way that you hadn't expected. It brings us to the Empress. It brings us to being able to move forward, but also really being filled with creative endeavors, bringing new life, whether it be through thought or whether it be, through like a human being. We're going to see new inspiration coming into our world. And that's going to be a very big part of us. There's something about an old story falling away and knowing your truth and what you desire to lead you forward. There's also a sense here of seeing a bigger picture, while others are seeing something very myopic or have twisted words. So be aware of that. With the Hanged Man, there is very much an energy here of looking at things differently. And this can make us think that we're wrong because everybody's looking at it one way. And because we have this change coming in, this healing coming in, we're embracing a power surrounded by our sacred feminine. We're going to be looking at things differently. And when this says power around the sacred feminine, it's quote unquote, feminine things. It can be through nurturing, through growing, through, expanding and seeing, that type of way. It's not necessarily, I always see the emperor as conquering, very much like the battlefield warrior who can look at the map and kind of see it 3D. Those people where they look at plans to build something or a map and they just know how it all works. I'm not one of those people at all. My family, so like that, I get teased so much. Here, this is more being able to be comforting and loving and compassionate and pull things in and nurture it and watch it grow. We're going to be looking at things very differently. Why? Because we're looking at things grow in a very different way. With the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is always tricky. The Queen of Swords, and that's because she's the most masculine of the queens, so she usually gets a bad rap for not being as compassionate and loving and caring and nurturing as the other queens, and that's fair. But all air sign energies, and I myself am an air sign energy, we are represented by the swords. So either the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Page of Swords, very much in a pursuit of knowledge, a pursuit of understanding. And this is going to actually play very big during this time because Mercury moves very quickly through the month of June. And what we're going to see here is that there's a lot of ideas, a lot of very intense energy, but quick energy moves forward. And if we can hold on to certain things, that's great. But we're also going to find that we can let go of a lot that isn't necessary during this time. The Queen of Swords is very focused. She knows what she's been training for. She knows what she wants, and she knows what she's discovered. Okay? And why I say this is because a sword isn't something you pick up and automatically know how to use unless you're like a prodigy or something like that. A sword is something you train and you train and you train. And scars and hurts and pains along the way come before you know what to do with the only weapon in the tarot. There is a sense here of I know the pain, I know the hurt, I've seen a lot, and it's cut me to the bone, but I've healed. For a lot of air sign energies, there can be what some perceive as a hardness to them, because it's a sense of you have to discover, you have to learn, you have to know. And that's going to be very important for us. It's going to help us see things in a very interesting way. There's a sense of stepping back. Focus on your throat chakra during this time. With the Four of Wands reversed, there's a sense that what was once devoted to is falling apart. This could be changing jobs, this could be relationships falling apart, this could be, a myriad of things, but we thought like, okay, that's settled. And now it's not settled. And that can be overwhelming for us. Acknowledging that is important, but also knowing that there's a sense here of where we used to find solace or what we used to find solace in isn't necessarily going to bring that same solace forward. It doesn't mean that anything bad has to happen. It can just be that we need a little bit of us time, not with everybody else, not with everybody's expectations, or everybody else's demands and wants and needs, but just with us. And it brings us to the Seven of Pentacles. Be patient. You have planted a lot. And you will find that a lot of things come to harvest now. That there's a sense of checking back and being like, oh, that's right, or oh, that's ready, or oh, I should be doing this, and oh, I should be taking on that. And that's going to be very liberating during this time where we see that our effort, it hasn't been in vain, because there's a sense here through all of this that like we've given so much time, we've given so much effort, we've put so much in, and we're wondering if it's worth it. This is a time, we have court cards here, we have major arcana cards. This is a time that hits hard. It's intense. We can't run away from the intensity of this moon, Aquarius, nor should we. It's having us be empowered. And when Spirit says, because I know somebody's going to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, my relationship's going to fall apart or I'm going to get fired. That's not it. Okay? There's just a sense that what once seemed so stable is turning out to be so human and filled with those human flaws and that human energy. So be aware of that. Let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Oh, there we go. And show me clearly. What's interesting here is that you begin and end with Capricorn energy. So if you're born on the cusp with Capricorn, or you have Capricorn in your life or in your chart, that energy is going to come through very powerfully here. There is a sense, okay, also Spirit saying, say the time frame. That's December 22nd to January 19th for whomever needs to know. That's Capricorn time frame. We have self-love, and it's time to release negativity around the messages that we're getting from spirit around being a student. This is an energy, an air sign energy is an energy that can be a perpetual student with glee and joy. So here, as you're learning, embrace the learning, embrace seeing things differently. Don't berate yourself, which is going to be what we tend to do when we make a mistake, but looking at it as, okay, let me dive deeper into this, or let me look at this in a different way. Let me embrace, these new ideas, this new understanding. It moves us then to action. When we have the moon and we have our intuition and what we're seeing, it says your hard work is paying off. We don't feel that way. We're feeling like I'm always taking action and I'm never getting anywhere. And yet we're going to see that a lot of things are changing around us. And we have to take in those changes, like the different phases of the moon. We might never notice the moon's faces changing. There's plenty of people who never notice until all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is important. Like, I need to notice this. I need to pay attention to this. And then all of a sudden it's seen. And that's going to be this time because it feels like there's a blockage, there's an overwhelm, there's a sense of like, I can't. And then all of a sudden, everything opens. You are good enough. Focus on that. This moon, as we heal, focus on you are good enough. And it's not patronizing and it's not meant to be dismissive. It is really saying you are enough. Who you are, what you do, your energy here on this earth, it is enough. Focus on your third eye opening, focus on seeing, and you will be surprised at what comes forward. It moves us then to don't let pride get in the way. Pride gets in the way a lot. Our egos as human beings, it can get in the way. And here it's acceptance. We're having a hard time accepting our throne, accepting our creativity, accepting, why we're here. Because we can have an idea of this is what I'm supposed to be. And there can almost be the sense of like, why was I born with this dream if I can't execute it the exact way I have it in my mind? And it's like, we might not have the vocabulary or the insight or the knowledge to execute the dream the way divinity wants us to, the way spirit wants us to. So be aware of that. It moves us to meditate and contemplate. That's really hard for us right now. Our energy is kind of all over the place, and it's hard to meditate and contemplate. It's also hard to connect with our sacred masculine energy. And that's going to be something where, as we look at things differently, yes, we have the beautiful, creative, sacred feminine energy here, but we also have the beautiful, creative, kind of more. I always see the sacred masculine energy as, the sacred feminine is practical, but I always see the sacred masculine as much more practical. It's like, well, measure, twice, cut once type of thing I always hear, which is funny because that's what my mom always says. But here with the sacred masculine energy, it's like embracing the logic of it. Okay. And that's going to be important. With meditating and contemplating, we'll start to see it's like, oh, but this is my logic. This is what I need to know. Conclusions are within reach. We're blossoming into our power. We're blossoming into these conclusions. A fiery climax approaches. No, it doesn't. I mean, we don't feel like there's a crescendo coming. We feel like it's all just going to be the same, the same, the same. We have to be mindful of feeling stuck, of feeling overwhelmed. That can hold us back in really real ways. So here the darkness comes in as we go to the new moon, as we just embrace the night in and of itself. And this is a time where we need to step into the darkness of the universe and feel ourselves as part of a greater cosmos, as part of a greater energy. It brings us to the end of a tough cycle approaches. And now it's time to embrace pleasure. We've been patiently waiting for this. We don't necessarily feel like there's pleasure in moving forward or there's pleasure for us. It's like the end of a tough cycle approaches, and I can hear so many Aquarius is saying, but a new one will begin, just give it a moment. And Spirit's saying fair, because that is part of life. But now it's time to embrace the pleasure in our existence, the small little things that we completely overlook that can mean everything. Our subconscious energy, not subconscious energy, but our bonus energy is nourishment. We're not nourishing ourselves the way our soul needs to be nourished. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, which is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. The Queen of Pentacles reversed is not feeling wealthy, not feeling attractive or confident in ourselves. There can also be an energy vibration of someone where you think, I'm supposed to like them. Everybody else likes them. Everybody else thinks they're great. I don't. Listen to your gut. I mean, you're a pretty good read, Aquarius. Our subconscious spirit energy is blessed, reminding ourselves that we are blessed. However, that blessed energy looks to us, reminding ourselves that we are blessed. It brings us then our subconscious tarot message, which is the Three of Swords. When we look at the tarot and we're looking at ourselves, there is a sense of like a lot of our heartbreak, a lot of our pain, a lot of our disappointment is holding us back, is keeping us from where we need it to be. And we need to look at that pain and say, I see you. I see you. I respect what has broken my heart, what made me feel small and overwhelmed. But I am not my pain. I do not get to be my pain forever and ever. It brings us to our subconscious Luna message. And that's resilience. We are absolutely a heck of a lot more resilient than we think we are. And then we have the new moon in Aquarius. It says, bring love into the situation. We're having a bit of difficulty with that. You know, we're resilient, but we're seeing ourselves more as like scrappy and feisty or fiery and everything, not as a being that's, derived from the piercing sword of truth, that's surrounded by love, that, cuts through so much nonsense. But that is exactly who you are, Aquarius. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless and have a blessed moon. Bye.